What's going on, everybody? Welcome to RNG Crypto. It's your boy here with you for another video, and today we're diving deep into Liqwid Finance, the DeFi powerhouse on Cardano that's been turning heads. I've got a ton of information to share, so stick around for the inside scoop on what makes Liqwid Finance stand out in the ever-evolving world of decentralized finance. First things first, Liqwid isn't just another DeFi project, it's one of the first dApp concepts on the entire Cardano blockchain. What sets Liqwid apart is the community backing that it received. In Cardano's treasury, where projects apply for funding through a program called Catalyst, Liqwid won the hearts of the community in the first ever funding vote and secured the green light for its development. Liqwid is the first and so far the only pooled lending protocol on Cardano, holding the #1 spot for the highest total value locked in lending and ranking #3 across all dApps. So some of you might be asking yourself, what the heck is a lending protocol? Well, let's dive into that. A lending and borrowing protocol in the blockchain is a decentralized financial platform, or a DeFi platform, that enables users to lend and borrow digital assets, typically in the form of cryptocurrencies, through smart contracts on a blockchain. Bear with me, I will explain this. These protocols operate without the need of traditional intermediaries like banks. This allows us as users to interact with the protocol directly using our crypto wallets, in my case, Nami. Here's how it works. On the lending side, users can deposit their cryptocurrency holdings into the protocol, providing liquidity to the system. In return for supplying these funds, users earn interest over time. And we'll talk about how this all works on Liqwid later on this video. On the borrowing side, users who need funds can borrow against the assets that they have deposited into the protocol. Borrowers typically need to over-collateralize their loans, meaning that they have to deposit more value in assets than they are borrowing. This is to mitigate the risk on defaulting on a loan, or in other words, liquidating, and also to ensure that the security of the system stays intact. So if all of this is new to you, you might be asking yourself, why would I want to do all of this? What's in it for me? So essentially, you can earn rewards in form of interest. Interest rates in these protocols are often algorithmically determined based on the supply and demand for assets within the platform. When more users borrow a particular asset, the interest rate may increase, incentivizing more lenders to participate and to provide that specific asset. And we're going to get into how all of this looks on Liqwid Finance, but there are two very important things that I need to cover before we do that. This is decentralized finance after all, and we would not have DeFi without a decentralized framework. DeFi protocols like Liqwid Finance operate in a decentralized manner, meaning there's no central authority controlling the lending and borrowing process. This reduces the reliance on traditional financial institutions like banks, providing greater financial inclusion and also minimizing counterparty risks. Anybody ever not get their stuff when they try to get it from the bank? It's happened to me. Finally, most lending and borrowing protocols have their own native tokens, such as the LQ token for Liqwid Finance, which may serve various purposes within the ecosystem like governance and incentivizing users. So now that you have a basic understanding of what a lending and borrowing protocol is, let's talk about Liqwid's model. Think of it as a love child of Aave and Lido. Aave being a DeFi lending and borrowing protocol, and Lido a decentralized liquid staking protocol that allows users to stake their Ethereum. You probably heard of it. Just so you know, these are the two largest dApps on Ethereum by total value locked. Liqwid takes the concept of both of these DeFi giants and melts them into one. It achieves this capability through the unique technological features that are provided by the Cardano network. Liqwid Finance didn't just happen overnight. In fact, the team has been grinding for over 3 years, collaborating with respected teams like M Labs and Vacuum Labs. So when you're trusting your hard-earned money to a protocol, security is key. With that in mind, rest assured that Liqwid has undergone multiple audits, not just internal ones, but external checks as well. All done by well-respected firms, one of which is Vacuum Labs. And you can find a link to the public report in the description below. While you're down there, do us a favor, hit that like button. Anyway, back to business. The total supply is set at 21 million LQ tokens, with just under 3.5 million tokens in circulation at the time of this recording. That tells us that only around 16.4 of the total supply is currently in circulation. Now, normally this would be a red flag when considering whether or not I'd want to invest in a project. However, it is important to note that the majority of the inflation has already taken place at about 1,000%, and the remaining supply will take anywhere between 4 to 7 years before we're fully diluted. It's also worth mentioning that just under 70% of all LQ tokens in circulation are currently being staked in the Liqwid Finance dApp, right, on their decentralized application. And for good reason, which I'm going to share with you in a hot second, so stick around because you're not going to want to miss that. Now, you're probably wondering, with all of this inflation, what is the emission rate today? At the time of this recording, the circulating supply inflates at around 100,000 LQ tokens per month. However, as a result of a recent governance proposal, which again, as an LQ token holder, you will be able to participate in governance, that proposal was passed, and that amount is now going to change to around 120,000 LQ tokens per month. And again, depending on user activity on the protocol, we're looking at around 4 to 7 years before all tokens have hit the market. Since we're already on the subject of rewards, let's talk about how we can take advantage of some juicy APY on Liqwid Finance. And for that, let's jump right into the app. Alright, so we're here on the website. I am on liqwid.finance, and I wanted to show you this before I jump into the app. Just wanted to make sure you guys are aware. By the way, their website shows the TVL without the staking value that's locked, so there's definitely some LQ that's being staked. That's around 7 million that adds to that, so we're above 30 million, just so you know. But what I wanted to highlight and make sure you guys go and check out is actually coming down here and looking at the docs. There's a lot of good information in this link. There's definitely an FAQ, a very elaborate FAQ. There's some details on how some of the calculations on the rewards are being done, so definitely do your own research and go and check this out. And by the way, everything I'm saying today, guys, don't take it as financial advice. Do your own research. I'm just pointing out a hidden mega gem that I believe is going to really take off here. With that said, guys, let's jump into the app. So that's going to load us in here. App takes a little bit to load the first time that you go in here. You're going to need a NAMI or a Cardano based wallet. I use NAMI because I like it. Also, IOHG is just taking on NAMI, so it's going to be a Cardano integrated wallet, so you're going to see that a lot. It's really user friendly, really easy to use. NAMI, definitely go and check that out if you don't already have that. But currently this is the dashboard. You can see there's a couple tabs at the top. We've got dashboard, governance, staking, loans, liquidations, market, transaction history, and then more, where you can go and check out your LQ rewards that you've been earning. So what I'm going to start with here is actually the staking. I wanted to highlight that first because I think it is the juiciest component of it all, but definitely some other opportunity on this platform. So essentially, this is single-sided staking. This is the Lido component of the Aave Lido Love duo, I guess you could call it. But there's a couple of components here. So you can see I've got a stake here, and it's actually taking a little bit to load right now. I should have something coming up here, but you can't see what the APY is, or APR is. And in addition, there's an Aqua Farmers component. So Liqwid Finance actually has their own NFT line. Okay, so now it just came up. Well, you can't see the numbers anyway, but Liqwid Finance has their own NFT collection, and you can view that by going in here, buy from JPEG store, and that's going to take me over to the JPEG store, and where you can actually go and purchase your farmers. So each NFT, they don't stack. It's going to take whatever the highest yielding NFT is. So they range from 2 to 10% APR boost. Okay, so if I go back to the platform, you can see I have 3 right now because I'm collecting a few. I've got a rare, a common, and a super rare. So it's going to take my super rare, which takes the highest APR boost. Now this boost is applied not to the overall stake, but actually to the APY I'm earning on my stake. So let's say I stake $1,000, and in a year my APY is 5% for simple math's sake, right? So that means I'm getting about $50 of annual APY on top of my stake, because that's my 5% rate. So this 8% is now going to be added to that $50. So it's 8% of the $50. So that's kind of how that's calculated. And you can actually see here, let's see if I can press the right buttons. This is someone in the community has actually put this out, and this is sort of a table that shows you all of the staking broken down. So basically, and you're gonna be pleased with this is what I said, this is the juicy part, base rate with no Aquafarmer NFT, 0 to 6 months. And by the way, the locking period, there is no locking period. It's literally just how long you keep it in there. Your tokens are never locked. You can take them out at any time. But if you keep them in there 0 to 6 months, you're getting 5% APR. If you keep them in there 6 to 12 months, so once you hit that 6-month marker, you're getting 30% APY. That is a lot of APY. And guys, keep in mind, we are early, right? There's still tokens that are being emitted into the circulating supply, meaning that this is probably not going to last until after all the tokens are in the market. So early birds are definitely getting paid off on this, right? So it pays off to be an early bird. I want to make sure that I highlight that. And then 12 plus months, 50%. 50% APR. So if I have 1,000 tokens in that year, after I've staked them for a year, I get another 500 on top of that. So you can see how this can become a very lucrative passive income for you. And then here you see what those percentages work out to be when you actually add the Aquafarmer boost. Okay, and with my super rare currently I'm 0 to 6 months still, I've got 5.4%. However, in a few months I'm going to start getting 32%, and I plan on holding this long term well through the bull market. So really aiming for that 54% and just gonna cash in that LQ and probably cash out the second cycle. So 2029 is my goal. Not financial advice by any means, just kind of sharing my plan here. And I'm gonna, by the way, make a more detailed breakdown on what my strategy is in using this platform. So that is the staking component. Absolutely huge piece of this. Let's move on to the dashboard and actually talk a little bit about the lending and borrowing. So if you've watched this video from the beginning, you should know exactly what we're doing right here, right? So we are acting as lenders and borrowers. So you can supply assets and you can borrow assets using your supplied assets as collateral. Okay, and I explained this in the beginning. If you didn't catch it, go ahead and check that out. But you can see here what I've done. I started with ADA. Okay, that's the only initial asset that I have brought to this platform. I took my ADA and I have supplied it here. Okay, so when I supply an asset, the platform actually gives me what's called a Q token, right? In this case, Q ADA. And the Q token is a yield earning protocol or token that we receive in return for supplying our asset. So any yield that I generate off of my ADA, which you can see is 2.82%, that is going to be paid back to me via this Q token. So as I hold this ADA or keep the ADA in the protocol as a lender, the Q token that I have received in return is going to continue to accrue value based on the interest I'm earning on top of that. So that is that. Okay, in the APY that you see listed below is actually the APY that I get paid out in LQ. So not only am I getting my APY paid back to me in ADA for supplying ADA as a lender, I'm also receiving an additional reward for providing my ADA, and that is going to be LQ. So I get paid out in LQ. All right, and you may also notice that there are a couple of other APYs that you can see that are over 20%, and those are tied with stablecoins. So if you provide or supply stablecoins, you actually get about 22% in APY paid out to you in LQ, which is huge, and that's kind of the game that I'm playing. So what I've done here is I've supplied ADA, again, my only asset that I've actually brought to the platform from my own wallet, and I used that ADA as collateral to borrow JET. And then I took that JET and supplied it over here on the left. You can see I supplied JET. Now I'm getting 22% APY paid to me in LQ for that JET. Now I use JET because if you look down here, JET can be a collateral. You can see here, can be collateral. JET has a check mark there. I now use the JET and I supplied it as collateral, and I'm borrowing IUSD. And then I go back and I supply the IUSD, and I'm getting another 22% APY paid to me in Liqwid Finance's token, LQ tokens. So that's kind of the game that I'm playing. Now, what's really important when you are borrowing is making sure that you pay attention to the health factor. The health factor is basically the collateral balance multiplied by the liquidation threshold, which I'll show you where that is. And then you take that and you divide that by the balance that you've borrowed. Okay, so when you are providing or supplying collateral that is not a stable coin, right? Something that can fluctuate in value, like in my case, which is QADA for my JED here, I want to make sure that I keep my threshold, for me personally, this is my preference, my health factor at least a 2.35. That's what I have sort of set my limit to. All right, that gives me enough wiggle room that if for some reason ADA were to drop dramatically in price on the next dip, I'm still covered in terms of not being liquidated. Okay, and what you can do here to kind of get an idea of what that is, if you go up top here, you see market state. All right, I go to market state, I click on details for ADA, and then down here you can see the liquidation threshold. So that is 81%. Okay, so that basically means that if my collateral, all right, drops in value so that the amount that I borrowed becomes 81% of my collateral, I get liquidated, I get wiped out, I lose my money. Okay, so it's very important to keep that in mind, and you can check the liquidation threshold for all of the different assets on here in the market state. All right, so for ADA, it's 81%. On top of that, the other health factor I want to make sure that I give myself some wiggle room on is when I use a stablecoin to borrow another stablecoin, because as you know, stablecoins lose their peg from time to time, so you don't want to get liquidated because a stupid stablecoin lost their peg, right? So my health factor threshold for that is 1.3. Okay, and when you supply these, when you create these borrows and you fill in all the numbers here, you will actually see what your health factor is. It's going to give you a number down here. Okay, so it's not something that you actually have to go and calculate. The system does it for you. Okay, and if I ever needed to, I can't really maximize this because then you're going to actually see my numbers, but if I needed to, for example, add more collateral to get my health factor back to where I am comfortable with it, I can always do that. I just supply some more ADA, then I use that QADA, and I can go in here and I can actually add to the collateral to make sure that I'm covered. So it's good to always come in here, pop your head in here, and check on the health of your borrowers. I know I already touched on this, but I did talk about the total value locked, right? So you've got the total value locked right now at 27 million in terms of lending and borrowing, plus another 7.3 million. So we're looking at around 34 million total. But that has been primarily without CNTs or Cardano native tokens. Actually, as of about 3 days ago, not even 3 days yet, World Mobile Token, MinSwap, as well as SingularityNet have all been added as the first batch of CNT tokens. So up until this point, it was all ADA and stablecoins, and they've managed to be the #1 lending protocol on Cardano just using those. So now that Cardano native tokens have hit the platform, this is going to go up tremendously. You can already see we're starting to get some good numbers here. World Mobile Token leading the charge with 252,000, but that's going to just continue to increase as awareness spreads throughout the ecosystem, because utilizing this platform can be very beneficial than some of the direct staking mechanisms that some of these tokens have, especially when we start talking about bringing in some meme coins. I don't know if you can get some SNEC in there, maybe DC. Get some SNEC in there. I'm just saying. I don't have any, but it'll be cool. Anyway, the other thing, guys, on the flip side, okay, we're talking about protecting ourselves with the health factor from liquidations. What can we do to actually liquidate? And actually you can. Oops, wrong one. So if you go to the loans tab up top, you can actually monitor folks' loans that are close to getting liquidated. So once this health factor drops below 1, you can actually go in here, click liquidate, pay off whatever their debt is. So this debt would be 3,702.96 JET tokens. If I had those, and this falls below 1, I can liquidate this person, pay the 3,702 JET, and then also earn on top of that, because I'm going to get paid back 100% whatever that debt was. So once I liquidate them, I pay off their debt, I get that money back, plus let's see what JET would pay me. So if I go to market state, I look at the details for JET, and I go down here, JET, the liquidation profit for JET is 11.11%. So essentially, once I liquidate that person, pay off their debt for them, they get liquidated, I get paid back whatever that debt was plus another 11%. So I get back 111.11% of what I spent. So it's a way to make money. Okay, so it's interesting to pop in here and see what's going on, to see if you can liquidate someone. And then you can also go into Discord and make them feel bad about it if you really wanted to. Speaking of Discord, guys, make sure you get into the Liqwid Finance Discord. There's tons of good information there. The people there are so amazing. They've been very helpful, helping me get caught up with everything that's going on. Shout out to Nuff, shout out to It's Danny, shout out to Dev, shout out to Jill. There's a bunch of people in there, absolutely amazing. Really appreciate you guys' help. Definitely couldn't have put this video together without your help. Alright, so let's talk about one final piece, and that would be the rewards. So to get to the rewards, we're going to hit more, and we're going to go to LQ rewards, and essentially this is where you can see on a weekly basis your LQ rewards as well as any other rewards that you get on the platform. So you can see right now I've got some unclaimed rewards as well as some that are going to be available soon on the 20th of November. So essentially this gives you a breakdown, and you can kind of go in here and check your rewards and cash in that money. And what I do is I usually wait for these to add up a little bit, claim them, and then put them right back into my LQ pool. So definitely something you want to make sure that you are aware of. Whew, yeah, that was a lot of information, but I hope that you've got a solid understanding of why Liqwid Finance is making waves in the Cardano space and how you can take advantage of their decentralized application. Remember, this is just the beginning, and crypto is full of surprises. So if you like this video and you found this content helpful, don't forget to hit the like, hit that subscribe, and hit that bell for more juicy insights into the crypto world. Until next time, happy hodling. I'm out.